Fellas, AEW is absolutely cooking right now. I don't care what nobody has to say. The best storyline in wrestling, and we don't even know what's really going on right now, is whatever Jon Moxley has going, because we saw at AEW Wrestle Dream, Moxley got in there and he literally murdered Bryan Danielson again. Big Om was in the crowd crying, so I got to get his thoughts on what's going on with this storyline right now. Big Om, how did you feel about the match, and do you think they delivered?
Look, the police have been notified. I called the cops on Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta's bitch ass
Hiro
for
Yuta
trying to murder my favorite wrestler and the greatest wrestler of all time, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Not only did they try to murder him, it was attempted murder, it was grand theft, larceny, like all of the above. That belt is made of real diamonds. That is at least $50,000 worth of property that was stolen from the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, after they desecrated his career, desecrated essentially his corpse. Like this was just highway robbery in every facet. I will be filing a report with the Tacoma police, rest assured. Now, as far as
I will say, before you continue, a recreation of the Katie Vick storyline, if I've ever seen it. But go ahead.
That is crazy. Brian doesn't even know what that is. That's crazy.
He doesn't. He wasn't born yet.
Well, boy's too young. Don't look it up, Brian. Don't look it up. No, but in all seriousness, I think, and this might be a hot take. This is a hot take. Like, after processing what happened on Saturday, I am convinced that this story with Jon Moxley does not need Shane McMahon. And I understand Kenny is going to crash out in just a second.
No.
But
continue.
Hear me out on this if you're listening. If you can hear the sound of my voice. I think one of the best things about AEW is that traditionally they've been able to turn very simple storylines into something that is not only engaging, but makes you feel. And for the first time, I think, in a while, AEW had made us feel something that was beyond just adulation and, euphoric, like, oh my God, our favorite wrestler won or whatever. This was like a dark, like, feeling that like left the Tacoma Dome with us. Kenny, you were there. Usually after an AEW pay-per-view, it's like, oh yeah, that was crazy. It was like somber. People were kind of mumbling to each other, but it wasn't like the celebration or the post festivities you feel after leaving.
Yeah.
Like that.
And I didn't understand it. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Just to quickly explain my point. And I think that was on purpose, because I think from a storyline perspective, what they are or what they might be going for isn't necessarily a Shane McMahon invasion, but it might be Moxley being the guy to say, it has been 5 years and this company, instead of advancing as much as it should have, has regressed in many ways, and calling out a lot of the critiques that people have about AEW, right? And I think part of that, and the biggest thing for Mox, is all these young guys, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, Orange Cassidy, the pillars of AEW, whatever. He's seen them with all this potential in the beginning, and he felt like he came to the right place to grow and help grow professional wrestling and see these guys grow. And yet it's 5 years down the line. None of them have proven that they can hold that mantle. None of them have proven that they can be the ones to take AEW to that next level. And to him, he feels like there's only two paths forward. Number one, I take control of this and I bring that out in them. I bring that out in a Darby Allin, that extra fire that he needs in order to become a main eventer. And if I have to go to the lengths of nearly killing my best friend, Bryan Danielson, I will do that. And I think that's the path that Moxley has chosen. It's either that, or then if we can't get these young guys to step up, if we can't do what's better for this industry that we love, because remember, Blackpool Combat Club, they are rooted in professional wrestling. They care about pro wrestling. That is their gimmick. If they can't make this place better, then it's not worth being intact, and they will see it destroyed until someone can stop them. And I think that last shot of Darby Allin at Wrestle Dream, that's a very telling piece of story because Darby Allin's the same guy who gave up his spot essentially for Mox. And he's the same guy who witnessed them Pillmanize Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dream. And I think there is a case to be made that if they tell the story right, he's the guy to finally take that belt off Mox because you have a bunch of people waiting in the wings. Ospreay can win the title at any time. He's ready. We know that. With Darby, he might need a storyline like this to elevate him to that level. That's my take. It would be cool if Shane came in anyway. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think he needs this. They need him, for this story. Cook me, Kenny.
You know what, Big Arm? Very philosophical take you have there, but that's what we don't care about because I need Shane McMahon to pop in here. Listen, Moxley has been teasing us all this time saying, this is not what I want to do. This is what I have to do. Like there has to be somebody here pulling the strings. You know what? You can do the whole Darby Allin. I needed somebody to step up in AEW because you guys aren't doing it. But I don't believe that at all because look at Jack Perry. Jack Perry was struggling. Before the whole CM Punk situation, Jack Perry was getting cooked. But Jack Perry came back to AEW, and now he's wrestling and operating on a whole different level. Look at Hangman Page. Hangman Page was lost for a while there. Now he's a psychotic cowboy, and he's wrestling on a different level. Even though he took the loss from Jay White, he's still that guy. He came out not hurt at all. Jay White. People like him for some reason. Now we see him coming up with that win. We see Swerve Strickland. He's out here doing his thing with MVP and Shelton Benjamin coming in. They're cooking. Darby Allin, he always fights from underneath, but people love him. You see people in the crowd every week, painted up like Darby Allin, same as Orange Cassidy. I wouldn't say these young guys in AEW are the reason AEW's falling behind or whatever, because I think they're out there doing their things, and the people they are putting in these good positions, they're performing well. So I would hate for them to go that route and bury the guys they have on the roster saying, you guys aren't stepping up and pushing this company forward, because I feel like they're doing what they need to do. When you're out there putting the belt on guys like Bryan Danielson who don't need it, that's not the young guy's fault. If you don't trust them, when you're taking Darby Allin out of this match and putting Moxley in there in his place, that's not Darby's fault, because that would have been a huge opportunity for him to be the guy to actually take Bryan Danielson out, take that belt, and keep moving forward. So I don't know. I feel like a storyline like that would bury the talent, and a storyline like bringing Shane McMahon in there would get a McMahon in AEW and push the company to different levels we have never seen before. So that's the direction they need to go with this thing. But it's been reported that that's not the direction they're going in. So I don't know. I don't know where we go. I think wherever they're going, I'm willing to, join this ride with them, because I think this is the most interesting story AEW has told in a long time. Because after they killed Bryan Danielson, quite literally, Moxley did not celebrate with that belt. Claudio came in with the bag, opened it up. Moxley snatched the belt and put it in the bag. They zipped it up and they left. So
then they got the other bag out, and then
put it over Bryan's head. So yeah, I love it. I love where they're going, but I just hope they don't do something and bury their talent with it.
Ain't nobody getting buried, bro. I'm gonna tell you why. Whoever beats John Moxley will be perplexed into a different level.
Perplexed.
Yes, bro. I think it may.
I'm perplexed to a different level after hearing that.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Our WWE representative here, yo.
He might even, bro. Listen, bro. It will actually be better than Darby Allin beating Bryan Danielson. As you guys saw, Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy were sitting outside. You guys were there live. They were sitting outside the ring in disbelief at what just happened. And I think Darby Allin is going to be the guy that's going to take over, beat John Moxley a couple months from now, and become the new AEW champion. Again, whoever beats John Moxley with how dominant he's been shown to be of a force, I think it's really going to make that wrestler insane. You know what I'm saying? Not going to use the other word that I just used, but as you see what I'm saying, bro, I think that Darby Allin is going to be eventually that guy. I don't know if I'm on board or on the Darby Allin bandwagon, if I'm being realistically honest with you both, but I would love to see what type of storyline they put him in, because it could be one of those storylines where you guys remember, I didn't really see, I was always used to Kofi Kingston being like a tag team guy, and then he got pushed up and then he was like, "Oh snap, this guy could be WWE champion." You know what I'm saying? So I could see something like that happening with Darby, especially against a heel, like John Moxley. So I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen next with this storyline. This is one of the storylines where it's like, all right, like they're doing something good. It's cooking. Want to see what they do with John Moxley. And I'm interested to see what's gonna happen with that title that they just threw in a bag, bro. I feel like there's something deeper to that than we know. So
imagine they come out with like the Moxley belt, and it's just like made of like beer cans and like
please
weed.
no. Jack Perry already has one of those stupid ugly belts. Like
apparently
I don't know why he did
apparently
that.
he designed the belt.
Yeah, I watched him do it on X. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
That's a really
This
nice
is not
belt.
good.
I don't know. I like it for Perry, but Kenny, just so I can I say perplex, just so I can alleviate some of your concerns. What if I told you there's still a way that makes sense to bring Shane in without having him in this story? Because
What's
you
that?
do have an invasion, or a really shitty at this point attempted invasion by the EVPs of AEW. And look,
keep the EVPs out of it, please.
man,
Please
I'm just
keep them
telling
out
you,
of
they took a picture with Shane. They took that picture with Shane.
So you're saying Shane McMahon comes in, teams up with the EVPs, and bro, the Young
builds
Bucks
a
are terrible. I'm sorry. The verdict's out, man. Those guys are terrible. They're not good. In the ring, sure. But when it comes to their story promos and all of that stuff they try to do, I don't believe them. They made a joke and a fool out of themselves.
Yeah,
they gotta.
But that's why I'd argue they probably need like a more sensational like moment type of thing, like more than Moxley does at this point. Like Shane McMahon would change the game for this story.
But what's the story you tell with Shane McMahon and the EVPs?
I have stolen this company from Tony Khan. Look, it's pro wrestling. I don't know how we don't know how Shane McMahon signed on the dotted line. Hey, Kenny Bomb, you tell me right now, how the hell did Shane McMahon steal a WCW from WWE? How did he do it?
Because they were, come on, man, it's WWE. Vince and Shane?
Come on, exactly. That's what
Vince McMahon sent Shane, like, go sign my name on the contract to finish the deal. Shane said, no, I'm signing my name on this contract.
Kenny, it is pro wrestling. You can make anything make sense if you believe hard enough.
I mean, no, it's not that it wouldn't make sense. It's the Young Bucks aren't good. That's pretty much the main thing for me.
No. Here's the thing. This EVP thing has definitely not worked out for them. Like, they've had the ability to tell really good stories. Like, you go back and watch the Hangman stuff, the original Hangman saga. They were integral to that whole story. Them, FTR, Hangman turning on them, and their character work helped elevate him to another level. Like, they're capable of it. This storyline has just not been good. And hopefully, this creative refresh that's happening in AEW, fingers crossed, knock on wood, all that good stuff, is going to help that and maybe bring that to the forefront a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, you started this company because of the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Cody Rhodes. When the chips are down, those are three of the people now that you have three of them. Those are the three of the people you're going to lean on.
I would much rather see Shane McMahon come back on the other side. Have him with the guys who came from WWE. Have the Young Bucks turn to good guys because they're not good bad guys. Have them turn to good guys and gather up the soldiers from AEW, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, Swerve Strickland, have all of them standing on one side against Shane McMahon and the WWE guys on the other side. Like, we're taking over because you guys aren't doing as you're supposed to. You have the AEW guys go over, and then we figure it out after that.
Hey, listen, man. Last thing I'll say, you guys really want to bring out the demon in Darby Allin? Here's what you do.
Bring Gigi Dolan in.
Oh.
Beautiful young lady, bro. Just have her dating somebody else, just like they did with Lana and Rusev. Make them go crazy.
No comment on that.
She's a bad one.